There are no good guys left in New York. Why do all New York men suck? Now, I used to believe this. I used to think all New York men suck until I cracked the code. In New York City, there's an even split between great guys and objectively shitty guys. 50-50, simple as that. But within the 50% of objectively great guys, there's only 20% that are available. And this is because the other 30% are cuffed. They're in a relationship. So that's why it feels like there are no great guys, because there's only 20% of them that you can actually have. And they're scarce. They're kind of, you never know where they're going to be. Are they going to be in a coffee shop? Are they going to be in a Barnes & Noble? Probably not. And while the city does attract certain rats, there's equally great rats out there. They're just more scarce because half of them have been snatched.
You know, this is exactly how girl math ends up backfiring on modern women. Even when she's trying to say there are good men in New York, she still compares them to rats. It never crosses her mind that guys don't enjoy being talked about like that. But anyway, music fades in. A lot of men have already checked out and moved on, leaving modern women confused and frustrated. Today, we've got a clip from Man Reacts that fits this perfectly. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe before we jump in. Alright, let's get started.
Okay, ladies, I hate to say it, but I have to say it because I am sick of this and I'm speaking to myself. Why do we never give the nice guy the chance? Like, why do we look at the nice guy like the ones who's just annoying and just thirsty and they're always available and not attractive to us? And meanwhile, we're complaining that we're getting dogged out, that we're dealing with manipulative, narcissistic men who can't treat a woman right. Not even men, little boys who don't know how to treat a woman right, who just fumble us all the time. Like, we complain that we get treated like that, but 9 times out of 10, we overlooked the nice guy to deal with this man. Boy.
The truth is, a lot of modern women don't actually want the nice guy. They say they want respect and kindness, but when a man gives them that, they call it boring. There's no spark, no thrill, nothing that keeps their attention. So what happens? They end up running right back to the bad boys. Not because those guys treat them well, but because the chaos and drama make life feel exciting.
Like, I don't get it. Why do we do that? In 2024, can we stop doing that? I'm speaking to myself too, because I hate that I do this too. Like, can we give the nice guys a chance? Let's give the nice guys a chance. I want the nice guy. I want the guy that's texting me, "Good morning, beautiful. I hope you have an amazing day today because you're such a blessing and I'm grateful to know you." Like, I want that guy. I don't want the guy that's texting me, "Hey, what's up?" Can we stop doing that? This is not it. Like, in 2024, we're going for the nice guy.
Even when she says she wants a nice guy, that's not really what she means. What she wants is a man who fits her fantasy, someone who sends poetic messages and treats her like a princess every second of the day. She thinks her expectations are totally normal, but what she's really doing is taking the behavior she expects from a Chad and trying to apply it to regular, everyday men.
To all of my fellow single 30-year-old girlies, where are we meeting men if it's not dating apps? Because I'm about to boycott Hinge for like the 50th time. I feel like the matches are just not it.
She seriously needs to look up what the word boycott actually means. Because if she's boycotted a dating app more than 50 times, then she hasn't boycotted anything at all. All she's really done is delete the app, and then come right back to it over and over again.
And the men on Hinge are also not it. Like, they're either emotionally unavailable, which I don't understand being on a dating app if your intention isn't to date, or at least be clear about your intention. Yeah, so where are we meeting them? And I know it's not at a bar or a club because we're kind of past that stage about.
What she doesn't get is that the dating apps are actually working exactly the way they were built to work. They're not designed to help her find a real boyfriend. Sure, she could find one if she really wanted to, even with all the chaos, but that's not why she keeps going back. The truth is, a lot of these women are hooked on the dopamine. The notifications, the matches, the attention, it's the rush they're addicted to.
I want my person. Why is it so hard to find your person? I'm tired. You know, it's really hard when love is the one thing you can't force, you can't make happen. It has to just show up, but where is it? Where is it? I'm so ready, and I have a beautiful life waiting for the perfect man to show.
When she talks about finding her person, she doesn't even realize how emotionally disconnected she is from everyone around her. She's not searching for real love. What she's really chasing is another object, something that gives her a quick hit of validation before she gets bored and goes looking for the next shiny distraction.
I figured it out. I know why good guys finish last. I already have a video about nice guys and how they're boring, if you want to go check that out in my earlier videos, but I have an analogy and I think this might be easy for some people to grasp. When it comes to good guys, let's just say you say to them, hey, let's build a cake. I'm gonna make the cake, but you buy the items. They show up with just flour. And you look at them and say, where's the eggs? Where's the butter? Where's the icing? They will be screaming at you like, I brought the flour.
That whole cake analogy falls apart, because she clearly doesn't even know how to bake. And honestly, most modern women don't even bother bringing the flour. They'll say they can bring it, but then still expect the man to handle everything anyway, because in their minds, just showing up should be enough to make the cake.
That's all we need, the flour. And you're like, but how are we going to make the cake with just flour? And then they'll try to convince you and go on and on as to why flour is the only thing that's necessary for building the cake. That's exactly how they are in relationships. They just bring the fact that they are loyal and faithful and think that's going to be enough to sustain a healthy, long-lasting relationship. As we all know, that is the bare minimum requirement to enter a relationship. You have to have a lot more about you that makes people even want to choose you. What else can you bring to the table that makes me feel like, you know what, I can sit here and eat here and for a very long time?
It's funny how she says that kindness and loyalty from men are just the bare minimum in a relationship. But the way she's ranting shows she can't offer those things herself. So by her own logic, she's not even bringing the bare minimum to the table.
So if you're over 30 and single, listen to my rant, please. Where do you find guys? And don't tell me online dating. No, I'm not going to believe you. If you just go, hey, online dating, found them on Bumble. Yeah, so did 3 of my best friends. Like Hinge, Bumble, and Tinder, actually. But like, not now. Not in 2023. We're not finding people online. Like, they just want our money. They don't want our love. So where do you meet them? And then I've been getting TikToks, it's like, leave the house. It's like, okay, I'll leave the house. Where am I going?
It's hard to take her seriously when she claims that men on dating apps are only after a modern woman's money, especially when most of them are drowning in debt that could take an entire lifetime to pay off. And like I always say, guys don't care about a woman's money anyway. We're not chasing careers, bank accounts, or any of that. It's just not what matters to men.
Women would say that men control hookup culture and it's men's fault. That's false. Hookup culture is actually women that control it. We control hookup culture because we're the gatekeepers of sex. And if guys aren't getting it, then they're gonna have to commit. That's just how it is. So the faster women realize that, the better it is, and the sooner this hookup culture ends. Simple.
She doesn't even realize how ridiculous that sounds. If a woman thinks she has to withhold intimacy to pressure a guy into committing, she's already showing how little she actually brings to the table. And most men? They see right through that weak little game immediately.
This comment was just too good not to respond to. I honestly think it is true that men nowadays are uninterested in the dating game. And they're most likely the good ones, which then leaves us ladies having bad experiences, and then we, in hand, want to get off the dating scene. So then we're both left screwed because all the good ones are out of the dating scene and aren't interested. When is this going to change, though? Maybe we all need to come back together and make it work?
Why would men go back to the same women who spent years online tearing average guys apart just for existing? We're not coming back to women who openly dislike us just because they are desperate. That's their problem, not ours.
The reason why dating feels so incredibly hard right now is because we currently have gender wars. But we also have an imbalance of energy. More men are now turning more passive, which is deemed as feminine trait. And more women are turning more masculine. When you have gender wars, there will be no harmony. There will be no let's exist in peace. It's really every man for themselves.
And seriously, who started this so-called gender war anyway? Modern women have been very clear that average men would never measure up. So what did men do? They walked away from women who insisted that being as masculine and as unbearable as possible was the only way to live.
Women have got to a point now where they realize they don't need men for survival. So men are now panicking because in order for a man to feel good about himself, he needs to feel needed. But women don't really need you guys anymore. They don't. I know so many women who are like marriage free, child free, living life, happy, growing, thriving, like the list goes on.
If women are happy being child-free and living their so-called best lives, why should they even care about men? Why should guys try to meet their expectations when it's clear they don't need us? Honestly, it just seems like a complete waste of time.
So this is the problem that men are having. The reason why it was easier for you guys to date women back in the day was because women actually didn't have options. They didn't have avenues that they can go down. So women were actually coming from a place of scarcity rather than abundance. Now, women have an abundant mindset. They don't need to settle. They do not. They actually don't. Men want us to settle because if women don't settle, then that means men aren't going to be picked anymore.
Men aren't panicking over modern women. Most of us just don't care. Women like this made their own choices. They decided to be cold, emotionally unstable, and psychologically messy, maybe even cat collectors by the time they hit 35, which is honestly kind of funny. They chose to be alone, and that has nothing to do with us.
Dating as a 31-year-old woman is truly just a humiliation ritual. Like, I wrote the most thoughtful, tender, sincere little paragraphs I've ever written in my life. The type of energy that I should have reserved for, I don't know, a birthday card to my mom went into this message. And of course, I was left unread. Over 24 hours, I go on, I see this 35-year-old man's stories, and he's posted the most low quality, dumb meme I've ever seen in my life. And I'm over here typing away like Emily Dickinson. And this is only the tip of the iceberg of the last few years.
Honestly, this woman comes off as kind of creepy for a bunch of reasons. And yet, she's complaining that men aren't showering her with love. I always find it funny when women make videos like this, acting surprised that men don't adore them. Like, seriously, why not go outside? Why not step away from the TikTok videos and try acting a little more human? Anyway, that's where we'll wrap up today's episode. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button on your way out. And if you want more, click the video on the screen now. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one.